All right, y'all boys, so I'm gonna be showing you guys no fluff exactly how I took this product from zero to $32,000 in revenue in literally just 12 days. I'm gonna be breaking down completely everything. So let's hop straight into this right here on this Miro board. So to start off, here's the proof, right? So from January 27th to February 7th, I was able to make $32,000 in sales running this product. This was a brand new product, and I'm gonna break down exactly how I did it. Here's the ad spend, right? So as you can see, we did around $10,000 in ad spend during this time for $32,000. So here it says the ROAS was 2.5, but it was actually a little bit higher. It was around like 3.2. So yeah. And then here's my metrics as well. Pretty solid CTR, solid CPC, solid CPM. Especially these two metrics were very good, especially because of the product that I was selling. So let's hop straight in here. This is kind of like a little bit of a more in-depth look at pretty much my ads, right? So obviously you can see my top performing was like a scaling camp. This one had a 3 ROAS across the board. I had this one at a 3.4. So ads were performing very, very well. Creators were performing very, very well. And the craziest part is that this was all ripped, and I was able to literally do this within a week. So before I get into how I found this product, I want to show you guys the product actually. So here's the product. This is the product reveal. As you guys can see, it was a spinal decompression bench. Pretty much you lay on it, it stretches you out, relieves back pain, relieves back tightness, all that stuff. So here's the Calo data listing. So obviously I find these products over on Calo data. As you can see, there was a pretty big spike in this graph right here, which we like to see when a product just starts popping off. That's usually about the range when you want to start running it, right? So I started running this around 27, so around right here where this big spike was at. But yeah, this product had around $124,000 in revenue. Now in total, probably back then it was probably around like 70, 60K. But yeah, here's my offer as well. As you guys can see, it's very, very high ticket, which is what leads me back to, you know, usually with high ticket products, you're gonna see higher CPMs, higher CPCs, but this was not the case with this product. As you guys can see, my traffic was still pretty decently cheap for it being a $400 product. But now that you guys can see what product it was, let's get into product research, pretty much how I found this product, right? So here are the D&D filters, the Calo data filters. So I usually like to add every single category except health, right? No health, oh, sorry about that. No health and no beauty, right? So these are two very, very saturated niches, right? I just recommend not selling in these niches because a lot of these products aren't visual. For example, they're little things that come in a bottle, right? It's way harder to sell a pill than it is to sell, you know, a super cool looking shirt that people like, right? Because it's very, very visual. And then I do $50,000 in revenue within the last week and a 15% growth rate. This is very, very important. It's gonna help you find products that are on this kind of uptrend. So that is very, very important, guys. And then some extra things I look for and some extra things that I think made this product do so well is the fact that it had a very, very deep desire. So obviously, like, the desire to not have back pain is very, very strong, right? That's super fucking annoying. You're going through your daily life and like you have this horrible back pain versus the desire of buying, like, I don't know, a cool hoodie, right? Yeah, you might like the hoodie, but you don't need it, right? When you have back pain, you need to get rid of that shit. So that's kind of what my product had, is a very, very strong, deep desire. It was very, very urgent. And then another thing that it had that I think helped it a lot was a unique product mechanism, right? So low key, dropshipping products that are kind of like for your back are very, very saturated, I will say. But I think what kind of made this one stand out was the fact that it was a little bit unique, right? So it was like this big thing, and like in the ads you can visually see their back spreading, and I think it was like very, very unique mechanism, which was what kind of allowed this to print and stand out from the rest, right? So that was another thing that I definitely looked out for when it came to product research. And now let's move over to the testing phase, right? So how do I actually run these products? Pretty much do $150 per day in a big CBO, and then I throw this CBO into the big 4 countries. So that's USA, Australia, UK, and Canada, right? And then you run this for 3 entire days, and you throw 5 creatives in here, which you get on Calo data. So right under here on Calo data, you see the ads, and you just throw them in there. And another thing is you do 1 campaign, 1 ad set, and then under this 1 ad set, you're gonna have the 5 creatives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. So this is how your camp should pretty much look like. Nothing crazy. Let Meta have full control of everything. And then when it came to scaling, I was able to scale then when it comes to scaling, I was actually able to scale very, very fast, as you guys could see from here. So day one test, we did around 1.1K, as you guys could see here, which was a very, very good day one test. And then going into day 7, we were already able to do 5.5K, which is absolutely insane and unheard of. Within 7 days, we were able to scale a product from within 7 days, I was able to scale a product from 1K to 5K. So absolutely crazy, and I'm gonna tell you guys how I was able to do that, and it's pretty much with this right here: testing in ABOs and scaling in ASCs. This is by far the fastest media buying strategy, and it's the media buying strategy I teach all my students. But pretty much how it works is you test in ABOs. So you'll have one camp and then 5 different ad sets, right? So you'll have 5 different ad sets: ad set 1, ad set 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then these will all have their own ad, right? So it'll be 1 creative, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., right? So this camp, 5 ad sets, 5 creatives, and each ad set is gonna have $30 spend, right? And pretty much what I do with this, right, is I'm forcing every creative to get spent. So these creatives are gonna get tested no matter what Meta thinks. And then every 48 hours, I'm going to assess this camp as a whole, look at these creatives, see how they're performing, and whichever ones do good, I move them into a separate solo ASC. So a solo ASC is pretty much just literally 1 camp, 1 ad set, and 1 creative. And the reason that this is the fastest way to scale is because if you have everything in one CBO, the most that you're really gonna scale is like 20%, 30% a day, right? But with the solo ASC method, bro, literally every time that you have a creatives pop off in this ABO testing, you move them straight into a solo campaign at 150 spend. So this allows you to scale way, way faster. And keep in mind, you're launching these new ABOs every 48 hours. So it compounds and it compounds, and you can get crazy results like this where you go from 1K to 5K within literally 7 days, guys. This is absolutely insane. And now, here's the part that absolutely nobody likes to talk about, and it's profit margins, boys. So as you guys can see, I netted around $12,000 from this. It was actually a little bit higher, around $15,000. True profit was a little bit under, but 37% margin, boys. Who is doing it like this? Who's doing it like this? Nobody. I don't care what you say, nobody's doing it like this. 37% margins. It was actually a little higher, probably around 40%. And as you guys see, we only had 84 orders because this is a high ticket product. As I showed earlier, I was selling this for $380. And yes, guys, people do buy high ticket products. Meta is very good at targeting. It's gonna target a more expensive audience, a more qualified audience. So don't be in the comments asking, oh, why did anybody even buy this? Yeah, they do. Okay, so yeah, as you guys can see, we did around $32,000 in revenue, 12,000 profit. It was actually a little higher. And now here's kind of like the secret sauce. I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, how were you able to sell such a high ticket product for that cheap, right? Like how were your profit margins this good on such a heavy and big product, right? Because normally with drop shipping, it's hard to do it. And I'm going to kind of keep this for the students in the one-on-one mentorship, but to not leak too much here, there's a way to get USA fulfillment. So these products are actually ordered in bulk to the US, and because of that, they are way, way cheaper. So actually my COGS were around $100. My COGS were literally around $100, and I was selling this product at $379. So this is why the margins were so lucrative. And on top of that, my fulfillment times were literally 2 to 3 days because my main market was the USA and I had USA fulfillment on. So absolutely insane, boys. Once again, I'm not going to talk about that too much here. I'm going to reserve that for the one-on-one students. And yeah, I could pretty much break down this COG right here. So it was $100 per unit, and I was selling for around $379. So I literally had like a 3.7x margin. Usually I like to go a little bit higher, maybe to a 4x margin, but because this was so high ticket, I was fine with a 3.7. But with that being said, boys, that is exactly how I was able to scale my product from 0 to 32K in literally only 12 days, boys. If you guys are interested in joining my free Discord, I highly recommend you guys join my community. I teach some of this stuff for free in my Discord. It's going to be the second link in the description. And then if you guys are interested in being mentored by me one-to-one, I will literally walk you step by step, hold your hand, and literally help you print. Here are just some of my student results. So Bartek literally just bought a Rolex. He sent this in the wins chat of my Discord. Victor just got his first sale last month and he's already hitting 13K weeks. Knee Ecom is already at 3K days and he only just joined a couple months ago. Same with my boy Bartek again. 5K days, his personal record literally led him to buy a fucking Rolex. So if you are interested in being mentored by me one-on-one, I will leave that as the first link in the description. It's gonna be my Instagram. DM me mentor and I'll get you in right now. But with that being said, I will catch y'all boys on the next video.